So I just wanted to share in a video what I have been doing today, or what I've been experiencing today. And I thought this is actually very important to share. So I've been sharing in video and in audio my journey, what I've been going through. So if you've never seen me before, my name is Marleen, and I'm going through, I could say, maybe like a transformational journey or a healing journey, or whatever you want to call it. And things really have been shifting for me in big ways sometimes. And I always find that's kind of fascinating when you're going through those processes where things start to accelerate, right? And it starts to change faster and faster. And what I love is that people have been commenting to me, you look softer in your face. Because apparently I I was kind of stressing out. I was like this, my shoulders were like this. And that's kind of interesting, because I was teaching yoga and doing all that stuff that supposedly would bring you back to the earth. But for me, apparently I was building up a lot of tension and unease in my body, and that resulted in me getting physically what we in the Western culture call sick. I don't really like that word, because I view it as my body going through a process to heal something, to transform something. And as Deepak Chopra says beautifully, the body is a process. So I believe that the body is a process, and it's like a constantly evolving, changing thing. So to pinpoint one point of stage of your body in time and then putting a label on it, which of course sometimes can help, but it can also be something that brings you into this kind of loop, or in a self-fulfilling prophecy where you get convinced that that is what's happening, and then you get all these fears around it, and then you just slide downhill. It happens a lot with people when they get diagnosed. Maybe if you're watching this and you have a what I like to call maybe not even an imbalance. I used to call it an imbalance, but now that I'm talking, it's so funny how things just come up when you're talking. Maybe it's not even an imbalance. Maybe it's just perfectly balanced body, trying to find balance, or trying to find a new state of harmony in that state. And that maybe the disease is maybe some burping up of old stuff, old debris that the body wants to let go of, for example. Or that's one perspective to look at it. So that's actually what my video is about today. So this morning I went to my Chinese doctor, Dr. Wang, and I'll make another video about that, because it's a whole different topic. But I just felt a little bit off, like, and I went on my bike over there, and movement always really helps me to release. Again, another topic for another video. So I came back, and then I noticed that I still was feeling off, and then I said, I think I have like a belief about something right now that is, and it feels like this, right? That is just counter on what I feel in my heart is to be true. And what I've learned about these beliefs that we have, or that, let's make it something about me right now, that I have, is that if you have a belief that is just counter to what your heart or soul is seeing, or your inner being, you could say, it feels like a contraction. So it feels like this, or to me it sometimes feels like you hit a little ball or a big one, and it feels like you're going, and then it's like, huh? So if you feel that in your body, you are sure that you just thought something, or maybe several things, that are just not in line with your heart's or your soul's or your inner being's view of seeing the world. So, having said that, that already means that it's not true. So whatever it is that you were believing that was causing you to feel like, I don't feel good, it's not true. I thought that it was so fascinating to realize, and I learned that from of course, following and watching other teachers that were sharing these things, that if it feels contracted, it's never true, because if love is the only reality, then that only means that expansion and love and light and joy, those are true, right? But the contracted state, even though of course that contraction is happening right now, of course, and then what you can do is notice that. So the awareness, being present to notice that, and also notice that you're not feeling well without judging it, without thinking, okay, this shouldn't be here, or I should be joyous all the time. Because what the contraction is actually sending you an important message. So if you can reframe that into seeing that as a good sign that your, what some people refer to as your emotional guidance system, is actually working accurately. So the contraction in your body, whatever name you give it, fear, anger, whatever it is letting you know that there is actually a response to something outside of yourself that is happening, or you're having a thought or different thoughts about a certain situation or circumstance, whether it's in your body, and when you're in a temporary deharmonizing situation, as we could call it, or maybe something around you, and then you feel that it's like this or this somewhere in your body, and that is your sign that you are a little bit off in the sense of how you perceive the situation. So that is actually good news. I used to be really scared of those things, to be honest. I felt like every time when I felt contraction, I was like, oh God, I don't want to feel that, or I'm not supposed to feel that. I'm supposed to feel uplifted all the time, for example, because then I generate better outcome. So if I feel that's going to create something that I'm afraid of. So especially when you're going through a process in the body, and you can actually get very scared every time you feel fear, for example, and you could be like, oh no, not the fear, you know, what is this going to create? So that's also for a different video, maybe an interesting topic. But what I wanted to convey to you guys today is that by being aware, noticing, okay, I feel the contraction, so there is a belief. So what I did is I took a walk, like a really long walk. For me, exercise really helps to get out of my own way. So I noticed the belief, and first I wrote the belief down, and I started trying to figure that stuff out with my mind, you know, trying to put in a new belief. But it didn't really work or something, so I just took a nice long walk, and then through that walk I was just releasing energies from my body, like that energy of contraction. I was like, oh, okay, just letting it go, you know, letting it go, just giving it back, just moving around helps me very much if I feel contracted like that. And the moving around allowed me also to get into a more expanded state again. So this can be different for every person, but for me that really works really well. So when I came back, I was just walking, and then these ideas just also start to pop. So the inspiration starts to move, where before I was just sitting behind my computer after getting back from Dr. Wang, just feeling like flatline, you know, just contraction, no inspiration whatsoever. And what I've learned is, okay, then just back off. and just get back into your alignment first, and then from there move into your inspired action. So I think that's important to share, because if you have a belief, your belief, so the way you perceive reality. So I was just talking about perceiving reality. So looking at a process in your body, you can look at it in like a million different ways. But we've learned to look at it in a certain way, with a certain name attached to it, right? So in a real sense, that is actually how you create your reality. Because the reality that we perceive is not even real in that sense. It's already something that has been manifested, and the power that you have as a human being, that's what I've been cultivating lately and trying to make bigger in myself. The power that you have is that everything is a reflection of your inner state of being. So everything reflected back at you is just a reflection of your own inner state of being. And also, so when you look at something and you have a belief about something and you're like convinced that that is true, that really narrows your perspective. Well, while when you are able to realize that reality is just the way you perceive something, and that's all it is. Like different people could look at the same chair and have, or for example, and have like 100,000 different opinions about it. I don't know, or be in a situation where one person would look at it totally opposite than another person. So, but it still would be that situation. Only the one that perceiving it perceives it differently. So that's how reality shifts. That's how reality can be different for every person. So it's already getting a longer video than I wanted it to be, but so I've been in the practice of noticing a contraction in my body, and then getting out of my own way by just, you know, breathing or walking or doing something that allows me to release that inner tension or resistance, you could say. And noticing the belief, and then when you see it and you know that it's not real, right? So that thought is actually says nothing about the present current reality, especially when you know that when it feels bad, it's never true. It's just not true, because it's not love, it's not light, it's not empowerment, so it's not true. Then what happens to me is it sort of dissolves. So the whole thing is like bloop, and I'm there again. And I think it's so fascinating, because you can get caught up in these mind fucks, you could say, for a long time. Like I've been caught in these things for like days or something, or weeks, or I don't know, hours also. But if you like see the contraction, get out of that story in your mind, and then notice the belief. So just make this in a short process here. So usually the thinking goes so fast, we notice the contraction first. So you notice the contraction, you know there's a belief, you relax into that, you see it, you understand it, you find that belief, and maybe you want to do some body exercise, right, or some shaking or anything, and then know that that belief actually means that's not true, because you feel that contraction. So this could be like a process of several steps if you want, or you can do it very intuitively, but that's what I'm doing. So yeah, I really feel right now that I'm open, that I've opened up more, and it feels nice to I feel softer again, and more open and more spacious and more receptive to guidance also from my inner being, letting me know what is good and what is good for me to do in this moment, or maybe what I shouldn't do in this moment. And the more I follow that, the more it seems to become a flow. instead of just being like pushing through stuff. So that was my experience right now. So please let me know if you have anything you want to share, any comments, or how you experience this in your life. If you want, you can share, follow me on my YouTube channel. I just started, so it would be really awesome if you would share, or you could share this with your friends if you think it would benefit them. And if you want, you can also get on my list, and I can give you regular updates about whenever I post something, a podcast, YouTube channel, or anything else fun. So, okay, see you later, guys. Bye.